Greetings, foolish
it.
mortals. Welcome back to Occultists Anonymous as we do some more spooky stuff. We are mere hours away from Halloween month, the official one. We all know Halloween starts on September 1st, but we're ready. We're all here. We're strapped in, strapped down, ready to do ghost stuff. We, as always, are brought to you by Roll20, the Onyx Path, and all our ghouls and gals out there in Patreon land. A special shout out to Adele, Al, Alexander, Alsrit, Bernie, Buck, Chandra, clawing at the doors of death, Doc, Eerie Loud on the Western Front, Emil, Bunzuso Reali, George, James, John, Josh, Camo, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Crazy Man, Long Live the Queen, Magnus Stinrode, Math Theorems Better Than Necro Theorems, Melissa, Milo, Ms. Grumpy, Moku, Mozart, D Minor, Noba, Other Guy, Paradox Means You're Doing Something Right, Perry, Foog, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Ryan, Sean, Shixara, Karen, Thomas, Toast, Vortex Falcon, we're Marley and Marley. Woo!
Yes.
Zoltan and Aethernalis. When last we left off, our intrepid band of ghost arenos had gotten up to some stuff last time. They talked their way out of the clutches of the priestess of the Withered Grove while getting some hints, some ideas, some theories about what they might be, and making vague promises of offerings of German blood to the soil. They then met with their fabulous and fabulously wealthy benefactor, who went off and built the town of Ypres, a Jewish cemetery, to have more room for people to be buried under their proper rites. Which had the side benefit of establishing a new Avernian gate that the crew could go through and try and figure out what had blocked the gate at the big ancient Catholic church. In journeying through the Underworld for the first time in the upper reaches, Stefford Quincy Jones got the crew fabulously lost, stumbling into the nest of some sort of horrific creature that was like a hermit crab using a very large skull as a shell. And then when we left off, the crew had managed to find their way out to the backside of the Avernian gate, which was blocked, clearing the rubble and fixing the gate, but noticing that there were large claw marks rent into the tunnel and into the gate itself. And Dorothy had managed to use her powers of Oracle to see a vision of a large ghostly wolf, replete with fangs and claws and opposable thumbs, which had destroyed the gate and the tunnel. And the last bit of detail that we noticed was that it had a saddle on its back as it disappeared back down into the dark of the underground. Let's pick up from there. Right at just inside the gate.
I think Cody is like trying to figure out
Do we need to hunt that thing?
I'm worried about it getting through.
Also, I have a concern whether this was just a natural thing that happens sometimes down here, or if this was part of a larger plan.
You think all chthonic beasts are so unsaddled?
Maybe.
To say we did just see a hermit crab out of a skull, putting something wearing a saddle, the ghostly beast of who knows what happens down here. Like ghosts, I have an idea about, but these things that are native, things dredged out of our very nightmares.
Effort Quincy Jones strokes his chin and says, "It's a good point. Perhaps the saddle is mere representation for the burdens it carries, that which drive it into this chaotic furor, attempting to depart hellish."
Actually prompts me, we definitely need to check with the Guardian Geist.
We should at least warn him about this and that it had been clawing at the inside of the door but couldn't get through.
That's right, because it was trying to get through first and then got pissed off and wrecked the tunnel.
Wrecked the tunnel, yeah. Because there were claw marks where it had been trying to break through the gate itself and bent the gate on this side.
Yeah, it did a let me in.
Yeah, but still failed to get through. Could it go through when the gate opens for a ghost to pass from our side to this one?
Perhaps we should all roll into cult.
Actually, not a bad idea. We have these dice. We should
And
use
we
them.
have a special.
You can roll dice sometimes, so that's fine.
And ghosts.
Well, especially in ghosts isn't a specialty in the Underworld.
Oh, I know. But it just counts as a ghost. -3.
You have no occult, Craig? You're the
How
worst.
are you a ghost?
Yeah.
I was president of the Garden Society.
I appreciate it, Craig.
Yeah.
I just like how being part ghost hasn't
Prompted
increased
any
your
kind
interest.
of knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like you just get a memory cube inserted, right? Like,
Well, yeah, but like,
Start to
when
ask
you look
questions,
into
right?
it, yeah,
You kind of could from your Geist.
that's true. Yeah.
he's not really the intellectual sort.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Could have learned something along the way.
Still got a success though, which is
yeah.
better than Cody.
I'm not suggesting
Hey!
it's legitimate, Greg.
Yeah, you'll kind of put your heads together, and Cody tries to help. Has some ideas that get sort of, maybe not
keep
their
trying.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know for a fact that ghosts from above never come back. But something big enough. Well, there absolutely is an example each of you have of a ghost that has made its way out of the underworld by being powerful enough. Some sort of bargain or opportunity. Certainly, something could make its way back above. And I think let's see.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like if the gate is a one way when it's open or if it's open when it opens.
I think it is open. Provided something has the ability to go through. Right.
But there's a big ask. Guardian Geist on the other side,
Right.
whose sole existence is to murder anything that comes out.
Something would either have to have a potent instinct to make it want to do that, or be well prepared and planned to do that. I think is the kind of the consensus you all come up with. And from the vision of this wolf, it could be either or both.
Should we
Yeah.
try to follow it?
I think that might be a next step after we report in and ask some questions.
I think our noble benefactor should apply a little more hands-on effort in this particular situation.
We can certainly ask.
Does he look like he's ever applied any hands-on effort?
Perhaps to wipe his own buttocks. But the jury's still out on that.
I haven't seen it happen. Just saying.
Oh, be surprised if you did.
Cody's like, yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it was like, yeah. And then you're like, well, I mean,
So what are y'all doing?
I think Cody may actually, because we still have to. It's not like Cody can just pass back and forth. Well, no, because we do have the key. So getting out later.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
there's no problem. You can open this gate, no problem.
yep, we can exit and talk to the Guardian Geist.
Yeah.
That's what you all suggested. Makes
Well,
sense.
Yeah.
I think Cody may. Never mind. I'm not going to do that because that's just putting Cody out of the game for a minute. It's like Cody's just going to sit here and watch this side. Do the same thing on the other side. Yeah.
He's going to turn into a
Reverse
swarm
Guardian Geist.
of small creatures and just hang out in the ceiling of the underworld.
Mm,
That's not going to break his mind.
It'd be fine for him.
for now.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, I think Cody basically volunteers to go talk to the Guardian Geist.
We could just exit that way
Mhm.
and
Yep.
talk to the Guardian
Yeah.
Geist.
Let it know that the gate's clear. The dead can move through it again. I want to see if they actually are.
That's true. Actually, go check that other running gate.
Hmm.
That might be what Cody needs to go do. Because he is the sneaky one, and I want an excuse to go fly.
Didn't you also instruct one of our subordinates to monitor that gate?
Well, to see if
So-
anybody went that
Well-
way, I don't know that they can necessarily see ghosts.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
watching the
Yeah,
hole
fair
in the
enough.
middle of no man's land, right?
Right. Yeah.
You do have crew members that can see ghosts.
I wasn't sure if we grabbed a crew member or a soldier and said, like, watch this
You
space.
can also
Yeah.
put a ghost there to do the same thing.
Also,
Yeah, we basically had, I thought we had that area watched, like someone watching
Yeah.
the ghosts
Absolutely.
to see if they move or more come. Or if something happens to them while we're not watching.
so it sounds like we need to go talk to subordinates and our superiors.
Guardian Geist, then subordinates, then Mr. Well, let me not say that.
So yeah. Who opens the gate?
Cody will, with the key of stillness.
Yeah, Cody kind of just reaches out towards the gate and just in his hand appears. I'm trying to remember what the other descriptors of that key are.
124, by the way.
Like jet black, almost like obsidian, just kind of appears, and it's wavering in and out of existence and uncertainty, and the rest of the like tunnel around you kind of shimmers and reacts in accordance to the key, and the gate swings open in towards you, and the remaining rubble and the claw marks sort of just gloss over and go smooth. The underworld writing itself under this bit of power. and that kind of shimmery plasm green curtain portal that we've talked about is there and waiting for you just to step back into the light.
Cody, I think, makes a dramatic after you all kind of motion, but is currently mute.
Yep. You all step off into the light, and there is a not much more than a boy, but in uniform, sitting on one of the headstones not far away. And kind of in that sort of perfect timing that you've seen happen around you a few times now. He is looking away when you step out and then turns around and is like, okay, now that's just weird.
Well,
I received orders to pass you this telegram.
When he does that.
Okay. I'll just reach out and take it from him.
The telegram says step 6 feet to your left.
Okay. Yeah, read that out loud and then do it.
And a bomb hits right where you were standing.
whoa.
Oh,
And it is that with that concussion kind of snapping you into what's going on, you see that you hear that there are planes in the air, mortars flying, long range guns being deployed on both sides. And you flip the telegram over, and it says, now get to the front, you're going to be needed.
What happened to the guy that gave us the telegram?
No, he's fine.
Okay.
No, he didn't just like introduce this guy to get blown up for no reason. It'd be good though.
That would be Dorothy's first concern is he
Yeah.
okay?
No, he's okay. He's like,
Okay.
I mean, he's obviously very rattled.
Yeah. Cody shoulders his rifle and like nods to Stefford, puts his hand on Stefford's shoulder, and follows Stefford.
All right. Sounds good. And start walking towards the front.
probably running.
Probably
I am.
trotting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just like lift up skirt and take
moving
off.
towards
Yeah,
the
yeah.
front. Hey,
And there are,
in haste.
as you're moving, you are seeing what can only be described as a push forming.
Oh,
People are moving forward. Barracks are emptying. There is a concerted effort, and it is all pushing east and north, which you would know is directly towards the path of the Withered Grove, or where it last was.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
We have
so
no
we
chance to tell
return.
anyone to not go there.
And Cody did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cody
we
Cody
told
passed
people.
along some things, but like,
Whether they actually listened is a whole other thing.
and yeah, exactly. Like they might be willing to listen. Like the scouts might be like, yeah, okay, we're definitely not going back there again. But
But
orders
the
is
whole
orders.
army is
Yeah,
charged.
yeah. The lines are being pushed in a concerted effort, and there is, I mean, it descends into chaos as you're going forward. Another line of trenches each time, right? And the cannons and guns and stuff are being pushed forth across like iron bridges laid across the trench to get the next the next 6 feet up, so they can hit that much closer to the lines and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it is you're seeing, not for the first time, the game of inches that this war has become. And by the time you rendezvous with the rest of your Project Persephone folks, you know, the actual like soldier deployment with you and everything like that is ready to like follow orders with you and ready to make a strike. Yeah, I think from this, I wanted to try and do more of a broad scale sort of thing of like, what are y'all's plans of actions in a grander scheme to help through the course of this battle or the next like hours, kind of abstracted.
Good.
Dorothy would be focused on trying to keep people safe.
Okay.
And I know Oracle doesn't work this way at rules as written, but you kind of lean into that to try and predict like where dangerous places are going to be and try and help people that are in those situations.
Sure.
Leaning into surrogate to just try and keep her boys safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, give me what do you think an appropriate role for that sort of thing is?
Wits, and I think there's a really predictive thing.
Why don't you do wits, survival plus synergy?
Okay.
Leaning in on pulling a little bit from your Geist. Just a little bit of hint of Oracle, not a full like prediction of what's going to happen, but instincts and his like war instincts as well.
Hey,
We take those.
All right. So yeah, Dorothy, I think is running back and forth along that like last line of trenches, and leaning in, pulling on some of the instincts of shit, just forgotten.
it's like
lost
calling
my-
warnings right before a shell lands.
Yeah, like just
or-
grabbing people and hauling them to the ground like a second before a bullet whizzes by. You know, evacuating a group out of a corner that they've like all hunkered down in right as like some gas canisters get launched over and stuff like that. And yeah, just effective but not supernatural or like totally supernatural sorts of ways. And by the time that people are reacting to how did you know or think, you know, thanking you or whatever, you're already like moving on to the next thing, right? How about Adelaide?
Moving forward a bit and definitely going to try to put up the boneyard to redirect people away from the grove.
Sure.
Especially since I have no escape, I can literally stop them from getting to it.
Yeah.
I imagine this will be incredibly taxing to try to do it on this many people. But like the role applies to the land. And it just says you affect the things in the land.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I should be able to do this. But yeah, basically I've got my other nurses kind of covering for me, like the other ones in the crew, while I don't do any nursing and just kind of concentrate on moving chess pieces on this board. With my main focus being keep our people away from the patch of land that is the grove.
Sure. Are you venturing out closer to it to put up the boneyard, or are you going like massive scale?
I was gonna make it real big.
Okay. Yeah, spend.
Ooh, a bunch of plasm.
Yeah, a lot of plasm. Takes a while to set it up, but.
Okay, it says if you spend 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, up to 5. goes up to university campus, small town. Yeah, that's going to be the size you're talking about if you're still like safely in the trenches trying to do this. And then
Yeah. I'm also hoping that would give me like a eyes on the thing underground, or if that's in this area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's gonna cost. Is it only 5, or do you have to spend the initial amount?
These 5 replace those first 3.
Yeah, the
Okay.
table in No Escape replaces the table in the first dot.
So I spend 5 and roll Synergy and Boneyard.
I also realized, because you know where people are, you're also a great dispatcher.
Yeah, that's the point.
Are you using a key or anything here?
I'm trying to remember what find my ghost's key. He has the key of Cold Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply?
You can always use it. It's just whether or not you're going to take the doomed condition.
I don't know that. What's your other one? Did you decide?
The Key of Chance. Which, I mean, does kind of work if I'm just trying to keep people
Yeah, I think Key of Chance is definitely resonant
Yeah.
here, if you want to use that one.
on the
Well,
battlefield
not
where
quite
thing
so
is
much. Yeah. for sure.
sporadic.
You can add dexterity to your roll.
And to willpower. 3, okay.
Does adding a key make it exceptional on 3?
Yes, it does.
If the haunt's usage matches the key's resonance, it
Yeah.
becomes, yep. So that's an exceptional too.
Where's that one?
Sorry, I'm bouncing around a bunch. 121 resonance. If the haunt's usage matches the key's resonance,
Yep.
the haunt becomes exceptional. For
Mhm.
Boneyard, I think that's just you get a refund at the end.
Okay, I see. In order to actually do the no escape part, I then have to pay again.
You have to pay an additional, right? But you also got free plasm from the key.
Oh yeah, that was 3 free?
Mm-hmm. So in other words, you could spend the 5 to make the huge area, and then 3 on that penalty thing.
Like, I don't want to really... I don't want to penalize our people. Like, I don't want to leave them at a disadvantage. I just kind of want to discourage them from going that way.
Yeah. You're able to do small poltergeist stuff. And yeah, you can at any point do the eyes in the painting by spending a plasm. And transfer your seeing, hearing, smelling, and tasting to anywhere in the boneyard that you have cognizance of.
I definitely want to do that and look at the thing underground.
Yeah. Might perhaps loop back on that. But for now, yeah, you're able to kind of guide a little bit of the sort of charge across no man's land to kind of steer clear of that a bit. Like, obviously, if people don't have another path, they're going to be going through it. And yeah, I think especially like, your folks in particular, you're able to protect very well. Stafford.
What Stafford wants to do is take Cody's temporary muteness as an opportunity to avoid just being another source of violence in the conflict. So he's going to stick with Cody and aid him in giving orders and directions to the other soldiers. And he's hoping that in the course of doing that, Jagged Shards will recognize that he'll get his fill of blood soon enough. And Cody is just, Stafford is just trying to delay when he'll have to give in to the hungering and the rage.
Related, just because we're teaming up here, we're making a push. We're out of the trenches then.
You have been called for to do so, yes.
Okay.
But especially the two of you can take notice of the things that are going right around you in small ways to recognize that you are within the boneyard of your companion.
Fantastic.
Like,
So, yeah.
somebody trips at just the right moment, that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. You don't get shot.
right.
That makes sense.
Cody's gonna spend 4 plasm and get big.
Ooh.
I still got my
This is call.
So 4 more size, 4 more health, and 2 more strength. And I still
There
have
we
my
go.
armor up because it lasts until my Geist gets shaken out of it. And Cody's gonna go be a big, scary target.
Have you had the call on this entire time? Is that what you're saying?
This is when we got to...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when we stepped out, and I was like, and I'm mute, and I realized I technically still have call on.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been running through these
forgotten
people
about that.
while a blood beast?
Yeah, kind of a blood beast. The armor one doesn't cause breaking points. The size increase does.
Okay.
So everybody just thought you were drenched in blood for reasons?
Yeah.
I'm gonna retroactively have something else have been going on inside that
Mind of that soldier.
that soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. Sent
It's
to
like,
give us
hi, guy.
telegram.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't
This
notice
is-
it.
I mean, this is
I'll say
weird.
he didn't notice it.
That's kind of weird. Like when we exit, that's kind of weird noise.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
call is great that
more,
way.
more than usual, you are given a wide berth as people are yeah, not looking to be close to this
Nope.
whatever this is.
Yep. Meanwhile, Cody is prepared to shoot any man who comes at him with a stick. Because that Bane, man, I realized afterwards, I was like, Call and that Bane are a problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you spend 4 plasm. For every gaining size, gain 4 size.
2 additional
That's-
strength.
That's big, my
Yep.
guy.
Oh yeah,
That's
well,
real big.
Cody's
size.
whole goal here, and I'm ready to dump the rest of the plasm if necessary, is just going to be like, oh my god, shoot it.
Mm.
Okay.
Cody's died before. It sucks,
y-
but he'll do this again.
Yeah.
With that
okay.
much armor, too, you're probably going to be all right.
I guess your outlook is different when dying is like, do you have any idea how much that stings?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just like hulk out, get real big. I mean, you go from size 5 to size 9.
Yep.
Which is like,
Like 12 feet tall.
I mean, bigger than that.
Yeah, hang on, let me
Yeah,
find
I mean-
the size traits.
elephant-sized.
I think so.
So does that mean we have a blood giant?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Not that big. Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's speed factor, not size. Shoot. They don't have size in this book. Quick, to mage! Because I know right where that is. Okay, so 10 is a moose. 10 is a
Okay.
sports car.
You're the size of a horse.
That's still a big boy.
Is a big boy.
Because you're also still like bipedal, so you're like more tall and.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Just having a little fucking Attack on Titan moment here.
A little bit of that. Yeah. I legitimately wrong. Not quite the right size, but I was definitely having the Dr. Manhattan bit in Vietnam. Just like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to suck. And I'd rather it be me.
Okay. Cool.
And 10,000 soldiers on the front all have breaking points.
Yeah. Not.
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, they were all probably.
I mean, they're gonna have breaking points generally by the end of a battle, anyways, just from like gore and stuff. So.
Yep.
This may as well happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris is over
What
here. Time
kind
to throw his notes out again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
here
bro.
we go.
We don't have a masquerade to abide by.
It's fair. It's fair. You have not been told not to do this, so.
If you would like to retcon and be like the Night
No,
Command-
I love it. I love it. It's a stupid idea. I love it.
Put my Chris
Yeah.
pants on today.
Tell me what. Yeah, exactly. What is your actual actions through the course of? Are you just charging in and just fucking stomping on some dudes?
Primarily, yeah. Cody's tactical goal, right, is cross to the enemy trench and get in that trench. Start throwing German bodies and
Be like Soren with the mace, just throwing bodies around, flying through the air.
Okay. We're gonna just do a down and dirty combat
Sure.
against a platoon of Germans.
Sure. I guess it's probably more brawl than weaponry. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Don't I have something with call? So I only have one charge left, so I'm not wanting to spend that. Otherwise, everything goes away. Yes, so I will spend additional plasm as needed to basically turn the normal unarmed brawling attack into lethal damage. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to even do that, just because he's more concerned about.
This is more of
movement.
an abstract over time thing of how much you're doing. So
Okay.
I don't think you have to worry about that particular thing.
Okay. Strength, size, willpower, +2 strength. Okay. That's probably up. It doesn't look so good, guys.
Go ahead and take 2 lethal.
Sure. I spend 2 plasm. Goes 2 bashing.
Are you taking into account the armor you have?
I'm sure Chris has done so.
Yeah,
Armor negates damage afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because we're abstracting this, so I figured.
We're
Chris
just
is-
doing.
Oh,
sort of
I
down
see.
and dirty
Okay, I
thing, so-
misunderstood. Gotcha. Sounds good.
Yep. A little bit of damage to you. You definitely get shot a lot.
Mhm.
In an abstracted, in a non-abstracted sense, take a lot of damage, but the armor and the just ferocity and stuff that you're doing, you are a very good distraction.
Yep.
I don't know that you accomplish that much actual damage and chaos of like making everyone else's attacks better, but like there is less firing happening specifically at your group of folks that you're kind of lead the charge for.
Yep.
That
kind of leaves Stefford open to do what Cody would normally do and give a little bit more order and alleviate the violence side.
Perhaps that's where with all the craziness that Cody leaps into, perhaps we have Stefford kind of try and keep everyone in line and not freaking out from the blood hulk.
Yeah, absolutely. Distracting them a bit through attention to discipline, reminding them of their training and an opportunity to make a good account of themselves. Reminding them that this is what they've been waiting for, to push across the trenches. The more ground that's acquired, and the sooner they end the push, the closer they will be to their goal. Dispatching the enemy, getting a good night's sleep, returning home to their loved ones, safe and sound. They must do it. There are many horrors, though. They must abandon sight of, ignore, accommodate for the sake of rigid attention to the circumstances in front of them. And this Hulk is merely a figment of the horrors they've experienced for months and years.
Several people have just died around you while this speech is ongoing. Like, it is some fucking chaos.
Yeah.
But let me see that roll and see how it goes.
All right, sounds good. Can I roll presence expression?
Yeah.
All right.
I think perhaps a -2 for the situation.
Sure. Works for me. No worries.
For the podcast folks, I roll 8 fucking dice, I get 0 successes. Ralph rolls up, he's like, I'm gonna roll just 6, gets 3. Tell me how this is fair.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
They do indeed.
There was a little like leather goods shop at the Ren Fair we went to, and they had dice trays that were embossed with all sorts of DM adjacent slogans, and
Oh yeah.
one
That's
of them
great.
was the dice giveth and the dice taketh. Yeah, that's
Fantastic. That's wonderful.
great.
Brief aside, I just noticed that unlike the mage sheet for Roll20, when you click on an attribute, it is highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how the mage sheet, we would click on the attributes and they wouldn't be highlighted? The guy's sheet is
yeah.
highlighted.
It used to work like that.
They used to be,
Yeah.
it's something broken up.
Brooke.
Yeah.
I think when we get back to Mage, we will have updated to this new version. So
Okay,
Yeah, this
cool.
is a different version than what we were using on the 08 Roll 20.
Gotcha.
'Cause I caught that the other day.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so in a I don't know. In a very like I'm pulling on some 40k shit here. Like in a very like deathcore of Krieg sort of moment, like everyone's gas mask down, like
Oh, yeah.
just pushing like you have to kind of like wheel everyone around and push not directly towards the direction that Cody has gone off to be Blood Hulk at, but the Germans have pushed through and you end up like in like bayonet range. And you're just like, I think, waving your officer's pistol around and full like commissar sort of style, like you want to live forever sort of shit that you're trying to pull. And yeah, it ends up paying off well. And I think you end up pushing over top of this German force, and pushing a few of them back off to the north towards the grove. And as they retreat under fire and other units kind of swarming in from their flank, you just see them all
Oh my god.
like an entire like probably 100 people disappear.
Oh jeez.
it's
Yeah.
fine. They're on our side.
Ash, this happens at the very edge of your boneyard, Adelaide, and well, I guess if you haven't actively put your senses over there. You don't necessarily hear it, but the audience at least gets a good Foley work of crunching and crackling and creaking wood and some very, very brief screams.
Oh my gosh.
But what you do sense and start hearing, even through your perception of your natural body extending into this boneyard, is that heartbeat going faster.
Great. Yeah, I want to try to look at it.
Okay.
Because they did say, the priestess said there was an end goal for feeding it.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to look at it. Spin my plasm.
I had described it as somewhere between like an egg, a geode, and a womb.
Mm-hmm.
And in this very like amber stricken through with veins of blood, you can see that whatever is growing, being fed, being revived, is like pulsing like in time, and very just like those red like sort of veins of blood or rock or whatever they are pulsing through, and there are cracks beginning to poke through the edges of it. And we had kind of described this like big like egg-shaped cavern around it, and it is just stacked up where the bones and the skeletons and the bodies are like getting ready to touch it.
Yeah, before they were like built into the wall, but now they have added so many that they're piling. Yes. Okay. Do I see any sign of the priestess?
Not within your boneyard.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna pull my perception back to myself, and just in my head, that is very much literally, I'm gonna close my eyes and do like this, because my eyeballs are going away.
Right.
And reappearing down there.
Yep.
But yeah, pull my eyes back in, and just start.
That's great. I love just like pulling your
look down so no one can see
your gas mask down to cover your face, and like
I'm going to point out to the folks at home that is not part of Boneyard. That's just Ash being weird. I love it.
But yeah, and so attempt to start relaying that to people. Like if I have a runner that can find these three, just like, it's hatching.
That's the only message I have.
Get prepared.
Yeah, I think the message gets to Dorothy still like on the trench lines and stuff like that, and to Cody or to Stefford. Someone comes running up, one of the ghosts comes running up, still like in uniform. Like this is somebody that y'all have just like anchored up and like drafted into, like, well, you're no longer part of that platoon because that platoon's gone. You're part of our group.
Yeah.
And just a simple message of it's hatching.
Oh, actually, that's true, because Boneyard gives the open condition. So when she does this, the ghosts are just like, we could do extracurriculars.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So, Dorothy, the message gets to you. It's hatching.
Mm-hmm. You hear Stefford shake his head, grimace, hollow, and say, "Delivered from hallowed earth, creature, tortured, ungodly birth."
What is Dorothy's reaction or next steps?
The idea of that thing hatching does not fill her with a happy thought, so would be making her way towards the grove to see if she can be of any use there.
Sure. Yeah, you make your way through, and the fighting has shifted back away from there a bit now. Or
Everybody who was fighting is
everyone
gone.
was fighting there is now not there anymore.
Right.
And you just sort of calmly walk out into sort of the same area where you had been before. Vague direction of the farm.
Yeah, looking for anyone else in the group.
I'd say Stafford gets Cody's attention. Probably at this point.
Cody loops back to get some space for another charge or something.
Yeah, exactly. I would say. Even juggernauts need rest. There is something that demands our attention more than you weathering the onslaught.
I think Cody just probably like, okay, I can't communicate with anybody, so at this point it's best to just follow orders. And yeah,
He says.
You can nod.
like more specifically, Cody can't have a conversation about what we need to do. It's like Stefford's headed that way. All right, covering.
And he says, let us go to witness the delivery of that to which we have begrudgingly contributed.
That's when Cody figures out what's going on. It's like, oh, okay.
And you start feeling a rumble underneath your feet.
Oh no.
Not good.
Dorothy, you're a little further west, having guessed that everyone would have pushed further. And I think you kind of are a little further, like north and west, coming into the grove from the side rather than from the bottom that the Stafford and Cody are coming from. And you end up just sort of. It would almost be peaceful if you didn't know what had happened here. It's rather quiet and sitting on a stump that obviously shouldn't be there. Is that deer skull masked visage of the priestess of the Withered Grove.
As we approach, Stafford says,
Just
Oh, I'm
correct for
sorry.
now. Sorry.
cool. Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be rude.
You're good. Yeah, just Dorothy sort of
Yeah,
walking
that makes
through.
sense. Cool.
So leaning into the, harmless grandmother vibe. Hi, dear. Seems like some things are happening here. What's next on the agenda?
We will now see if our work was enough.
Well, it certainly feels like something's happening.
Perhaps more than you know.
That's what I'm worried about. What happens next?
You are kin of the dead, are you not?
Dead adjacent,
Do you
sure.
not feel? Do you not feel the wind blowing from beneath the earth?
Do I feel the wind blowing from beneath the earth?
No.
Does the Centurion seem to react in any way?
I mean,
This
he's
is really-
very on guard and
Mhm.
defensive right now. But yeah, this thing seems to know something you don't, for sure.
Any signs of, because she wasn't here, did she, any signs of those soldiers that it ate?
Helmets.
There are,
Like helmets and weapons and stuff?
yeah,
around,
I think
or- yeah.
nothing organic is how I will phrase it.
And his egg was physically in this world, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna lean into a little manipulation and empathy
Hmm.
to try and draw her into bragging about what's going to come next.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Trying to get her to be all proud of whatever
Yeah, I
she's
think that
accomplished.
it's a fairly natural conversation flow from what she had been saying. So yeah,
Mhm.
take a +2.
Hey,
We take this.
Way to go.
So 3 successes. Yeah, you get her to keep talking pretty easily. Perhaps I had underestimated the degree to which you are from below.
well, there's a lot of things from down below, and they come in different flavors. I'm just curious about which one
Yeah.
this is.
Something is coming. Something unnatural.
You don't know, do you?
I know not what. We know not what. But we are prepared. As twisted though we may be, we are still remnants of the natural world. Of how it should be.
And whatever's in the egg is going to restore it to the way it should be?
No.
Or is that something entirely different?
I don't believe this place will ever be the same. Be returned to what it was. The gnawing hunger of death stains this land. And just as we have worked through blood and toil to give birth to our agent, so too has the stain of death prepared this place for what is to come.
Okay, so there's a hierarchical relationship with the thing in the egg. It's a servant to whatever's running this girl around like a meat puppet, right? Is that an accurate interpretation?
That is more or less what has just been told to you, yeah. Makes sense. Some sort of weird cultist thing. Egg beneath the earth. Yeah, it sounds like some shit.
Did a crack open up or something with that big rumble?
Not that you're aware of, or
Okay.
are anywhere near seeing. Adelaide, you become aware when something supernatural enters your boneyard, correct?
Maybe.
I believe that's part of how it works.
Yeah, it's part of the condition itself. Characters within Boneyard can't hide their presence or location from the Sand Eater. Supernatural
Yeah,
stuff
you
can
know-
hide with the Clash of Wills.
I don't see that.
Sorry, it's in the Boneyard condition itself. That's on
Oh, okay.
306.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can attempt to resist, but otherwise I will know.
Further to the south, away from the grove, you feel a spike of presence as something has entered your boneyard. And in shifting perceptions over there, you see what looks to be a man in dress similar to your Geists. An old army uniform, tattered and ratted. with a tall hat and everything. His arms permanently melded with his rifle.
Is it dead?
Yes,
Okay.
It is a ghost. And more importantly, it is astride a giant wolf.
Great.
Ash, we don't
Oh,
like
boy.
this one.
And the exact location you realize as you kind of push back to get a bigger sight is this has just come out of a hole in the ground.
Ooh.
Is it the one that had the people on top of it?
Oh, it's a lot bigger than it was.
Oh, great.
And this ghost aims its sort of fused hands, like the way its elbow and arms are holding the rifle don't make sense. They're fused and twisted and you notice two things. You notice that there is that this ghost's face is not like the ghost equivalent of flesh. That there is a semblance of a face, of a mask laid atop it. And then the barrel of the gun grows.
This is reminding me of a Doctor Who episode, and not in a good way.
Fair.
Perfect.
Does it
Yeah.
grow in length or diameter?
It grows in diameter. And he leans off, sort of still attached, but leaning in the saddle of his mount, and just sticks the barrel of the gun down over top all of those gathered ghosts.
Oh shit.
And it sort of almost comically in ways of movement and visuals that don't perfectly make sense. It just sort of wraps around. I'm picturing Cell's tail.
I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, in my head, I'm just seeing a Looney Tunes gun.
Yep. I mean, yes.
All these.
But horrifying, right? Like it doesn't. It's like it sort of hurts your head to look at a little bit, even though
Imagine a dark Elmer Fudd.
And it's
Okay, don't. I'm trying to make this man spooky. Don't make him Elmer Fudd.
yeah. So is it like eating them?
Yeah, they move up the barrel of the gun, and just sort of you just see them move, and then that bulge gets smaller and smaller as it gets back towards where the actual shot would be loaded down into.
Oh! Ghost bullets.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go on a break in just 1 second, as Stafford and Cody are standing there, and out of the muck and mayhem around them, this just crack opens up in the earth, and something comes crawling up out of it, a sort of twisted hunk of limbs in both the tree and like
Flora
arm.
and fauna.
Yeah, in the flora and fauna sense, yeah. All like blood red moss covered tree trunk arms, you know, the size of a house.
The entity is the size of a house. Or the limbs are the size of a house.
Like the hand and arm come up and they're like the length of a like small cottage.
Whoa.
Oh!
This is an enormous creature.
Yeah, it's real big.
The Titan.
Yeah.
No longer on board for my kaiju battle.
Yeah, you don't want to do it?
Like, wait a second.
And so on 3 different parts of the battlefield, we have absolute. Well, we go from horror to this like steady diminishing that Dorothy witnesses as the priestess of the grove withers and just sort of folds down in on themselves, and the cloak and the deer skull entrapments remain seen on the stump. And we'll be back in like 5 minutes. We're gonna get a little break, get some water. YouTube, you won't even miss us. Twitch guys, don't forget to stay hydrated yourself, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, we're back. Time to do some horror stuff. So Stefford and Cody, you have this very big tree monstrosity crawling its way out of the earth. And I think from your vantage, the arms are coming up on like either side of you, and just this like horrifying like blood moss, like, but I mean kind of int like, but more flesh. Yeah.
Fleshy tree.
Yeah, a fleshy, withered, gross tree thing, with like spots of amber and rock and bone like crunched into it and all kinds of stuff. That like base and head, and it's like, you know, an eye like, you know, 3 feet across.
God.
And like pulls itself up out of the ground. And the ground around you and like the soldiers around you have either gone catatonic and just been like pulled down into the crack, or are just fleeing.
Good.
Breaking points abound, right? Like, and that's on both sides. Like no one is trying to shoot this thing. No one is like capable of rational human thought at seeing this. What do you do?
Well, Cody's, because this may help Ralph as well. Cody's first instinct, especially if the rest of the troops are moving back, Cody is basically like hunkering down over Stefford to give Stefford like a moment to look, because let's be honest, Call lets Cody do some damage, but when it comes time to actually fuck some shit up, that's Stefford, but it's Stefford's call. Hey. So Cody's basically
Stefford's rage.
Yes. But Cody is basically putting Stefford in a spot where it's like, we're either going to go where we were already kind of headed, or Stefford tries to do what damage he can, and, you know, Cody's going to back him up. A lot of body language there.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, I think they're able to communicate well enough at this point. Stefford's taking in the scene. He's a bit concerned about engaging the Reaper. I would like to suggest that he has some faint inclination to oppose Reapers when he sees them.
Oh, that's true. How? Yeah, I was to say, is the
Don't
Reaper
know
yours?
about that yet.
Right. Okay.
Okay, fair enough then.
Yeah, it's like at the very edge of the battlefield. I saw it,
Yeah, it's down
So
to
I
the
was gonna
south,
start,
where we're
like,
to the north.
sending ghosts.
Because the boneyard is like campus sized, and they are at opposite ends of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I would have been sending out runners and also telling the ghosts to deliver this message and then get out. Get far, far away. But they might not have reached you yet.
All right. Well, then, Chris, do I understand correctly? You're curious how Stefford would respond when he sees the spirit creature emerge?
Yeah, this thing merging out of the ground.
Gotcha. He doesn't want to deal with it. He's going to try and deflect its path if it seems like it's going across the soldiers. So, I think he'd communicate to Cody by saying, if that vile entity approaches our troops, I'll engage it. Otherwise, I think we must just bear witness.
What part of the country is Stefford from?
East Coast.
Okay.
Definitely took some inspiration from Langston Hughes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. This thing is approaching your troops in much the similar fashion that a hurricane approaches the coast.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
It is not approaching them in any malevolence. It is dragging its body free of the ground.
right,
and
wonderful.
even as you're like trying to figure out what's going on, it's another 6 feet up out of the ground, and you're starting to see the makings of full shoulder mobility and stuff like that happening.
Wow.
And this thing is already, 12 feet tall just for the head and the shoulders. And
Okay. I think, Stefford wants to be in a position wherein he's going to put his life in the way in the event that it seems like the entity is engaging in a ceaseless march towards the more vulnerable people. So I guess I get, and I know you want it to be cinematic, but
Yeah.
I think he would motion to Cody to step back a bit and, move back cautiously.
Mhm.
And then, once it seems like it's crossed the threshold, that's when he'll vent his rage
Okay.
and try and attract its attention.
Cool. Yeah, it like you're like backing up away from it and kind of trying to get out from around the two big hands, kind of pushing down into the ground, and a big like sucking, cracking sound of as hard stone and ground beneath the muck are cracking, but then you hear this very like slurpy sort of sucking sound as it pulls free of the top layers of muck, and makes a big progress in it. Like its head and face come down, real close to y'all.
Oh god.
And gets a glance, and then just keeps pushing itself back up and forward and away from you. And I think you, without even sort of any sort of like empathy or occult or anything sort of roll, you get that this thing is just like taking your measure and then just moved on.
Okay.
Yes, Cody?
I
Are you
mean,
muted?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. I'm just. It's If Ralph is ready to engage this thing, at least to pester it and chase it away, fastball special.
Oh no! Yep.
The size and
That's certainly a
everything
thing
is
that can
here.
happen. Yep. That's certainly a thing that could be done.
But really, I'm just giving rough ideas.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just waiting for confirmation that it's actually attacking the troops. if it was.
not
I'm not assuming it would be. So like
attacking them, but it's. I mean, people are going to get caught in the path of it. But
Okay, gotcha.
It's not venturing towards one battle line or another. It is moving essentially straight down the middle of no man's land as you gauge what it's doing for the next few minutes as it pulls itself like more fully free.
Yeah.
And there is no sort of legs to this thing. It is dragging itself. It kind of ends in a tangle of roots and a tangle of roots that mimics viscera.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Yeah.
It has just pulled itself free.
It's the upper half of a landscape zombie.
I mean, sort of. And I think you get the sense that it is leaving a trail of something.
Oh God.
And yeah, why don't y'all make a wits? Looking at skill rolls here. Wits occult, wits science, wits.
Maybe empathy with some negatives, trying to get rid
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
All right. What would the negative penalty be?
Let's do like a -2.
Okay.
For empathy, everything else can be kind of flat, and you can pitch me a different roll if you're trying to
Gotcha.
kind of understand it a different way.
Sure. Would empathy count as this specialization? Or sorry, emotion, not empathy.
I don't think so.
Okay. 3 successes.
Yeah, for both of you.
I did that with 3 dice. What the hey?
This from both coming from the wits empathy thing. This thing has a purpose, and it has just detached itself from sustenance to pursue that purpose.
Oh.
Whatever this thing is, whatever has been done, you get the sense that it will be done in a hurry or it will fail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To get an idea of scale, Chris, is there any chance Cody could even... I'm imagining this is going to be like a little kid holding back a person, like an adult, because that's kind of what I think Cody may end up doing, is just trying to push it back, not attack it.
Chihuahua trying to hold back a grown man.
Potentially, yeah.
It's not quite that, especially because you're still big, right?
Right.
Give me a strength athletics -4.
Okay.
As this thing has crawled past and you try and grab on to like that sort of tangle of roots, and that almost, especially as you try and grab it, feel like slippery and yeah, there's some Shadow of the Colossus in this, definitely.
I had multiple modifiers there. With a willpower, it's a +1.
Okay. Yeah, you reach these big call-infused hands in and just kind of grab at a knot that you see, and it is the roots in your hand are slippery with ichor, and it reminds you of plasm, but in a very different way.
Oh,
There's
sure.
some sort of supernatural
goo, but it's not plasm.
Yeah. And you kind of just like wrangle your fingers deep into this, and and give it a tug, and it's like way through a big push with its left arm, and like it's this almost like swimming sort of like push crawl, push pull crawl sort of thing. You just like dig your feet in and grab it and try and hold it back, and it roars in agony. Yeah, you stop it mid motion. Make me a just a flat stamina roll.
Like stamina?
Stamina composure.
Oh, okay.
About that.
Sure. Oh, do not need athletics. Let's spend another willpower.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Exceptional.
6 successes. Yeah, the roots that you're grabbing onto and the sort of ichor are trying to eat away your armored hands, and trying to like stab into them to cause pain to get you to let go, and it does not make it past your armor, and the bits that it does, you manage to hold tight, and you make just a colossal effort and pull back and drag this thing a few scant inches, but still a colossal effort to move it backwards towards you. And it like pushes with one hand and twists and sort of comes up, like sitting on its torso at this point, or like its back sort of rolled up, right, and is now facing you. And there is what had been sort of a cold amber, like almost animalistic sort of intelligence in the eye when it like leaned down over to you, is now gone black and red with fury.
Okay.
Oh, yes. So Stefford shakes his head at this as though Jagged Shards knew this was going to happen for sure, right? And
Yep.
Stefford was kind of naive about this, and witnesses Cody's nobility and self-sacrifice, and is going to try and join him and delay him from being consumed or destroyed prematurely. So Jagged Shards gives Stefford one last moment to make some poetic statement, and you can hear his voice becoming discordant as the rage is vented.
Oh yeah.
And so Stefford can feel this, and he stands up and hastily yells to the fleeing men, fleeing troops, "Harry thyselves, fools! Flee the gate of Beelzebub, lest you be unborn!" And then, as his voice becomes discordant, he turns back to the entity and he says, "Fruit of ghastly Amnion, I rebuke you!" And then all of the shards come surging out of his form,
Hell yeah.
flying straight at his face, or its face.
Sure. Give me a
And so
big
he's going
attack
to
roll.
unlock. Cool. He's going to unlock rage with the key of blood.
Yeah.
And I'll just make an attack roll because we're abstracting this in a cinematic sense.
Yeah, I'll just that oration is good enough for me to be a key of blood unlocked.
All right, sweet.
Cool. Yeah, Stefford, you just unload just a hail of glass into this thing's like face and belly and hands, and hello, welcome back.
It's working now.
now? Cool. All right. You have caused damage but it does not seem to react to it at this point or this scale. Like you have there are points where like it's this very like corded branches forming muscles, sort of musculature, and there's points where it's ripped, and then you've got like cracked roots that have like unraveled from the arm and stuff like that. And so there is damage, but it doesn't seem to have registered. It doesn't scream out in pain or rage. And it is swatting down towards Cody. And we'll jump back to y'all in a second.
Cool. Sounds good.
Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
What you doing?
I want to try to impede the Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to be able to mess with the Reaper with my boneyard, but I was hoping I could spook its dog.
Ooh.
So I was going to try to... Right, I meant to look up what the shaken condition actually does. Because I don't think I can actually inflict spooked on a ghost dog. It doesn't seem like it would do anything. But I want to try to...
You want to spook a spook?
Yeah, I want to try to make it, like, hesitant. Oh, yeah, what does shaken do? Because it's not in the guy's book.
That's in Mage book.
Also, I don't think guilty will do what I want it to.
Yeah. Shaken is the severely frightened as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Yeah, because I don't think I can mess with the Reaper, really, this way, but I'm wondering if I can frighten off its dog.
Something has severely frightened your character. Anytime your character is taking action where that fear might hinder her, you have to fail the roll and resolve the condition. Yeah, give me a Clash of Wills. So your boneyard roll with your use Dex to unlock it. So you can
Yeah, I was with the
Clash.
And can I spend willpower on this?
You're aware and present. So yeah, you can.
It is not frightened of me.
Well, it is for a brief moment, and then it like hunkers down. Like I'm not sure what specifically you're trying to do to frighten it, but you do accomplish that. And the wolf goes to like hunker down and hide from the source of the fear. Which just entering the boneyard is like sort of you just like, oh no, things are bad here.
Basically, as soon as you step in, it feels weird. And what I was specifically trying to do was like, I can do like poltergeist things. I'm doing like earth upheavals near it to try to bluff that there's something big and scary here, and you should go away.
Right. And yeah, the wolf like almost bucks like a horse for a second, kicks with its back legs, and then like cowers down, and then the soldier Geist up on top just like reaches down and like whispers something into its ear, and it snarls and gets back up, and there's plasm just dripping drool and raw bloodthirst on its face. And I like the image you've come up with of how your boneyard works, of like literally just sending your eyes or your ears or whatever somewhere else. That's fucking horrifying, and I'm definitely rolling with that. This soldier like looks directly into your eyes, and the barrel of the gun comes up, and there is a bang, and then you do not see from there. Your eyes are shunted back to protect you, right? And don't take any damage or anything, but like it has
see that I am about to get shot and withdraw.
Yeah.
And just beyond that, trying to tell our ghosts, our ghost friends, to
Sure.
get Cody and Stefford and then get out.
Sure. Do you make your way towards this thing, or are you staying like on the front lines and trying to work from a distance for now still?
I definitely want to stay a distance for now because I also know that it knows I'm here.
Right.
So I don't want to show myself to it if I can. I want it to have to
Conversely-
find me.
Yeah. Well, conversely, it might be coming to find you while you're here with all the other soldiers and stuff. So, I will say you have that thought and that consideration and the option to, or the time to think about what you're going to do. And I might come back to you to find out that decision. Dorothy.
I have a bargain for you.
Okay. I like
Um,
bargains. I like bargains.
Let's
Bargains are
see you
good.
go for it. Diviner's Jawbone would take like
Mhm.
10 minutes to do, and it gives me the common sense merit for a week.
Sure.
But I don't have 10 minutes.
Correct.
So I'm wondering if I can. Normally, I would just like burn the skull in a fire and then consult the
Uh-huh.
ashes or the shards. What if I just smashed it and I got like one question?
Counter offer.
Sure.
I'll give you 2 questions
Okay.
if you put it on.
Ooh.
Deal.
Hell yeah.
One shots.
Yes.
Drive them like you stole them.
That's right.
I mean, so far you've been all about putting on other.
And there's a standing order. Anytime you guys get a skull, like or a head, you got to give it
Yeah.
to me. So,
Yep. You have said that.
mhm.
Yeah, so this big like 12-pointed buck skull, like antlers still attached and everything, and like moss and withered vines still wrapped in the horns and everything is still sitting there, still like kind of tangled in with the ropes. And I'm gonna say you straight up feel a desire to put them on.
So hold it over my head and just pause for a moment and look at the centurion and say, I don't know what this is going to do. And then plunk it on.
But you use the buddy system.
Before I tell you what happens, what are the
Mhm.
questions you're trying to figure out with this
I'm
Ritual.
trying to.
this common
Um,
sense ritual?
Yeah, the question seems kind of limiting, but I'm trying to get an idea of what this thing's weakness would be. I suspect fire, but so the safest choice isn't really what I'm going for. The safest choice is just to fuck off, and get out of the battlefield, I think. But that's kind of what I'm going for. Is what's our best way to get rid of this thing from the field?
Yeah, you kind of are looking out through a gap, not quite where the buck's eyes would have been, but just holes that have been carved into this thing as it turned in the process of turning into a mask. And you're seeing some weird shit. And as you glance into the distance, as you can see this thing, right?
Mhm.
You very clearly feel and understand that it is dying. And so the safest way to get rid of it, it would be to wait. But like all creatures, or like all entities of the forest, fire and sharpened steel.
Okay. Am I still in control of my faculties?
You are. You are seeing the world through a lens that you are not sure exactly what it is.
like Wildlight, only different?
Yep.
Okay.
And as you turn to get your bearings, you do not see your Geist.
Ooh.
Okay, that's just one sense. I know I'm in Adelaide's boneyard. I need somebody to get her attention. So what if I spent like a plasma or plasm just to pluck on a thread of her web to try and get her attention? Would you buy that?
You are not in her boneyard.
I am not in her boneyard. Oh,
Let me be very clear. You were in her boneyard. You are
I'm
not in her boneyard now.
Oh shit! So I know this.
And
but
when I
have
say
no way
you
to-
cannot see your Geist, I mean that in the sense of all of your senses.
like I'm not where I thought I was.
You are not where you thought you were.
Well, shit.
Can you take it off?
Yeah,
And
if I
you
take it
see-
off, I still see the same things.
Yeah, you still see the same things. And it doesn't restrict your vision as much to have the mask off. And not only do you see this giant tree entity, but there are all manner of entities swarming around. You no longer see any soldiers or your friends or anything. There is a blood red moon in the sky.
The landmarks all look different and
Yeah.
great.
And the crack in the earth that this entity has crawled, as you sort of, I'm going to say, feel compelled to start walking towards it, to go find out a little bit more. The crack in the earth that this thing has just come out of is it is not rent in the earth, but carved and formed. It is perfect.
Okay. This is probably a really bad idea, but completely out of her depth, Dorothy thinks if that trench is what this thing used to get back to our world, maybe there's a portal at the bottom that she can use to get where she wants to be. So
These are definitely thoughts, yes.
I cut the skirt and grandmother rush her way towards the rend in the earth.
Cool.
Yeah, it came through, so maybe you can too.
Maybe.
Skadoos. We can't.
Yeah, you make it to the end of this tunnel rent in the earth thing. I'm gonna use the adjective O'Keefean.
Yeah, that's evocative. Georgia
Yeah.
O'Keeffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yep.
You did use the word womb earlier.
Yeah,
Makes
it is,
complete sense to me.
To use another adjective, yonic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go.
And there is a dark cavern, slick with viscera and ichor that up close seems like a different form of some sort of, as we said earlier, supernatural goo, something akin to plasm,
yeah.
but doesn't make sense.
Is there like a portal hole shimmery thing at the bottom, like what we see when we go through?
There's no
escape?
light.
Wow.
It is a hole in the ground.
Her daughter once said to her a little phrase called faith, not fear.
Mm.
So, not knowing how she got here or how to get back, she knows that thing came from here and got to our world. She'll jump and hope. I'm also aware that since my Geist isn't here, if I die here, I'm just dead.
I don't know. That is certainly a thought you could have in character, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But she's thinking about the boys on the front lines, those soldiers that aren't going to stand a chance against this thing. And she's going to take a gamble.
You slide down into the dark, and we'll come back to you here in a second.
Okay.
Stefford and Cody.
Hang on. Can I pause just for a sec?
Uh-huh.
Do I still have access to my haunts without my geist?
Let's find out that in a second, because I'm going to tell you what's going on with your guys here in just one sec.
Okay.
Screaming across the battlefield, Stefford and Cody, directly towards this massive beast, or whatever this entity is, comes a familiar form, clad in frost-sheened Roman armor, with a gladius gleaming in the rapidly fading afternoon light, as a fully unhinged and unattached to Dorothy Lost Centurion comes screaming and just buries its sword right in this thing's belly.
Ooh.
And just unthinking, just slashing. And it is not loving that, to say the least. That's even more damage than like Stefford accomplished. Is like the like if this thing were to be described as having abdominal muscles, it is shredding them. Cody, what you do?
Cody is thinking, wow,
Yeah.
Dorothy had a really great idea.
Yep.
And is thinking, you know what? Two is better than
Play
one.
that game.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
And so
Say the words.
Yeah, say the words.
Let her rip.
Journey before destination. Unleash
Nope,
the
not that one.
Geist. Yeah, we're letting it that bleeds off the chain. And with a very specific, and he knows this is not a command that he can necessarily give, or necessarily that it will be obeyed, but specifically just we have to stop it. It's the only purpose, and because I was also digging through and double checking that my haunts don't end, I just can't spend plasm. So
I mean, we don't know what its purpose is.
nope.
Is letting it go so
Of
bad?
anyone on the battlefield, Adelaide has perhaps the best vantage point of what this thing might be for.
Right.
Because you've got a sense of what's going on, and this thing is trying to move in the exact direction of this rider and wolf.
Let them fight.
Them fight. But I hear Unleashed. We're doing Unleashed. So yeah, you are loose, free to act upon the world directly rather than through the powers of the bargain. And Unleashed Geist is a powerful force, but that power comes with increased vulnerability.
Yep.
You are materialized.
Yep.
You got essentially Hit That Bleeds takes over Cody's body.
No.
No,
It
it's
is
just unhinged. Oh, it
separate.
unlocks. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Got it.
It basically comes out of me.
Yep.
to do
You
his thing.
share plasm and willpower pools with your bound Cineator. You treat innate keys as influence with dot ratings equal to your rank. And you can use any haunts your bound knows with a dice pool of power plus rank plus haunt. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have the weakened bond. I can't spend plasm.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure it's always just a great thing to do.
Yep. It gets
Not
synergy
bad.
beats afterwards. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I understand. So what is it that bleeds doing as it
I mean,
uncurls itself?
yeah, for me, I am imagining it potentially just diving in either with the Lost Centurion, or more likely pushing this thing back.
Perhaps you can use your influence of blood.
Ooh. Sorry, Chris. Did you just say I get to play my Geist?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I sure did.
Okay. Yeah. Because what rank?
The goose is loose.
Equal to 2 rank. Okay. Yep. Plus it's pretty decent power.
Mhm.
I guess it doesn't have any Numina, does it? Nope. Okay.
I mean, it would, I feel like, but maybe not in this form.
No, because they have specifically
Yeah.
because they have access to haunts. So,
Right.
actually, yeah. How much plasm do I have? I have 3 plasm. It could call. I don't know what that would.
How does that even work? But
Yeah, I know, right? That was like, we'll mess with that later.
in the interest of a more cinematic thing, I think just rolling a blood influence and just like
Yep, that's kind of what I was thinking.
doing this sort of. I'm imagining it that bleeds in this sort of like feral blood monster, but like almost sorceress control of blood and ichor.
I was thinking
and
like
since
this
thing is dying.
blood storm. Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, essentially, yeah.
From Avatar.
Power plus rank, I think, would be appropriate. Yes.
Makes sense to me.
I think that's right.
And shares willpower, so I will spend my last willpower. For an exceptional
That's an
success.
exceptional success.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you just Cody just lets go,
Ooh.
and this the call unwraps from around him. He shrinks back down to normal size, and this like sort of blood. We described it as like non-human looking, right? Like very like dragon-ish, but like no scales and just like blood and viscera and bones. And
That
this
bleeds
thing-
has a human shape, but it
Okay.
would never be like, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like a
person.
flayed person, right? It looks
He's a blood golem, right?
Right. That's right. Okay. Either way, yeah, with claws and bones and blood, it just like leaps up onto the belly area where Lost Centurion is, and just like rips whole hunks out of this thing's belly, and just like it's like putting roots into its mouth and like sucking it dry, and just like very clearly dealing aggravated damage to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
gross and awesome. Stafford.
I should have mentioned. Let's see. So what Stafford is now going to do is, when he realizes that this thing is sensitive to that, he's going to, or that intensifying the damage is actually the right way to go. He's finally going to use, he's now at Rage 4. He's finally going to use that enhancement that renders the shards, or it causes them to do aggravated damage. So he's going to emboldened. Stafford emboldened by, or actually, what am I saying? Right, it's him and Jagged Shards. So I'll just say this: Jagged Shards, partially incensed. Or I think this is the impression that Stafford gets. Not trying to dictate what Jagged Shards is thinking, right? But their state of synergy. Partially incensed by the fact that the creature seemed inured to his first onslaught, and then also that other people are getting in on the action.
Better.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think being upstaged.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
I thought it was called It That Bleeds, not It That Causes Bleeding.
Yes.
Get mad.
Bingo. So there are two guys there. Stafford then spins additional plasm, and all of a sudden those shards take on a different aspect. And they become much more potent. And he directs them. He does two things. Stafford directs them. He directs them at the face of the entity, so he can cause aggravated damage. And he's going to invoke. Where's rage? Rage. It ended. All right. He's going to inflict a tilt with the enhancement, the second dot enhancement.
Mhm.
I think maybe blinded might be a good idea.
Sure.
Or something else that impairs it.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. Yeah, and entirely cinematic, whatever makes sense to you. That's basically what he's trying to do.
blinded's
He
great.
directs. All right, wonderful. Yeah. So all of a sudden, aggravated damage to his head and face will get my attention now, and the howl coming out of them intensifies even further. And I'll make an attack roll. I think it's what you want. So cool. Happy to do that. And as instructed before, adding in the key attribute. And that's enough.
One success, I'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it is not as spectacular as It That Bleeds going on a rampage, but
Oh yeah.
a
Makes sense.
precise and just a more precise strike.
Yeah.
To deal as much damage as possible. And I would say the whole like right eye socket of this thing is just blown away in a hail of shards.
Ooh.
This thing is looking damaged for sure. Having just been ripped quite a bit apart.
Yeah.
I do want to go to them.
Okay.
And just... I do want to try to get them to stop. Like, we have a bigger concern. If we can get our people out of the way of... Yes, we have a bigger concern. Can I, like, roll to see if I think it would be bad for the Reaper to get this? Because I don't know anything about spirits. I don't know what this is.
Right. Yeah, give me like a wits occult.
What's called? Okay.
I have a vague feeling of what's the vibe going to be if this goes wrong, or
That
is
makes sense.
this going wrong, or that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because my first thought is, if this can slow down the Reaper, that's good.
Yeah.
4 successes.
Ooh.
I think you recognize that this thing is powerful and dangerous, but I think you have a sense of dread of, like, if this thing were to be destroyed or taken by the Reaper that you recognize as a Reaper at this point. You just be flat out about that. Having seen the mask.
That it can, like, eat it or something.
Yeah, I mean, you have no idea what the fuck this thing is, but there is a lot of a sort of deathly resonance, even if this thing isn't a ghost.
Okay.
And yeah, I think we will put a pause on this as Adelaide strides up onto the scene, trying to figure out, and the like hackles on your neck rise as you like stare up at this thing and then turn around, and about 100 yards away is this 10-foot tall
wolf with a guy on
wolf
top.
with a horrifying something riding it, and Dorothy sliding into the dark in another world.
Yes.
Ooh.
Chat brought up a good question, and because I kind of prompted here. Does Adelaide recognize that Dorothy isn't here anymore?
Yes,
Yeah, I would be able to tell that.
you definitely know that
Disappeared.
Dorothy's not in the boneyard.
Uh-oh.
She is not. Her geist is.
Yep.
So that's a thing.
Bad sign.
We can have Craig playing because he's absolutely unleashed as well.
Right.
Now that I remember how that actually works, because I thought it was like a next level above even like Call or Rage, where they like just completely like you invert the sort of relationship, right?
Yep.
But no, it's just like, let me unattach for a little bit.
Yep. Come on out.
So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed some spooky shit. Unfortunately, this will be a 2-week cliffhanger. As we have some stuff going on next week. We will not be playing, but we will be solidly into October when we return and figure out what's gonna happen with all this.
We'll see.
Thank you all for joining us again. If you want to come hang out and talk about this lovely spooky series or anything else that we've got going on, you can come join our Discord, eatinto.space. And if you like us enough that you want to give us some of your hard-earned dollary dues for us to put towards character art, equipment upgrade, that sort of thing, check us out on Patreon. That is staylucky.club for short. Thank you so much, and y'all stay spooky.
Yeah.
Bye.
Everybody.